Hello everyone, welcome to LEDTok. This is Eco. Today we will continue the third part of sharing about raw material selection. Would you make a requirement for the PCB? Would you want to 2-layer PCB or 4-layer PCB? What about the thickness of the PCB? How about the brand of PCB board? Or do you care about the PCB whether it is a public type or private type? Fourth, generally speaking, do you know that the PCB, plastic house and the lamps all have two different types, named the wholesale type and the project types. Do you know what's the difference between them? Fifth, would you check the cabinet and see whether it is a private mode or public mode when you place orders? Do you care about what is the precision of your die-cast cabinet? Many people, they believe that they see with their eyes, but based on today's the industry society, not the agricultural society, mostly what you see isn't the truth. What do you think so? 6. Some of the pixels of LED display have only one kind of scanning except the customized version. For example, the pixel of indoor P3.91 LED display in the market is 1/16 scanning regardless of whether there is public PCB type or private PCB type, and wholesale PCB version or project PCB version, or the pixel of the outdoor P8 256 by 256 mm LED module or P8 256 by 128 mm LED module are both 1/4 scanning, and the pixel of P8 32 by 32 LED module or P8 32 by 116 LED module is 1/5 scanning. Some pixel of LED display of the same module size still have two kinds of scanning. For instance, P1.8 of 240 by 240 has both 1/32 and 1/16 scanning. 7. For some pixel of LED displays, only one kind of lamp, P3.91 SMD2020, SMD2121 can be used. Here's one thing I'd like to explain, and that is Nancy Star and King Knife lamp SMD2020 exactly what other brand would call SMD2121, and the outdoor P5 can use SMD2727 and also SMD1921, but with the same brand SMD2727 is much more expensive than SMD1921, like Nancy Star. For these details, would you confirm with your supplier? Some factories make LED displays with their own brand and won't tell clients the materials they use in detail. They just mention their target market and the classification of customers. For example, they use A series for European, American, and Japanese market, B series for the Middle East market, and C series for Asian market. Whether the suppliers tell or don't tell the raw material for the production of LED displays are produced with all above the raw materials. Some factories which don't have their own brand ask a client which type of lamp or IC to choose, while some factory quotes client directly. For LED displays without confirm anything, you see the business model is flexible too, right? When you place LED display order to our factory, the issue listed above usually need to be confirmed with the factory. If you need more information about your goods, you can ask for more details. If you don't, then the details will not be clear. It's like you tell the factory you need P3.91 without other details, which is just like you tell our car dealer that you will purchase a car, not an SUV. And that's all the information you provide for your supplier. But what about the brand of the car, the model number, and the configuration? LED display is really flexible too much. There are around 40 kinds of raw material in our BOM list. Every kind of raw materials varies in different quality levels, just like lamp. For example, lamp Nancy Star, there is copper golden RS3 matte series, and some series have small brand series. Like the SMD1921, the copper series have the wholesale type and the project type. Some models of the golden series also have high brightness and common brightness. Some models of the RS have a black face and also white face. And all the other raw materials like the lock, IC, PCB, plastic house, and even the small screw have different quality levels such as level A, B, C, D, E, F, and many others. All of these are qualified products. Nevertheless, there are still some defective products which can't even meet the lowest quality standard. These defective product can't be sold to client with the marked price, but you can still buy them with lower price and remove their original logo. Therefore, you get what you pay for. Therefore, the LED display have different quality standards, and it is made of different raw materials. Moreover, there are some defective raw materials in the market, and that's why there's no bottom price for the project, which makes the choice of LED displays very flexible. Some LED displays have already been used for 3 years but still perform better than some new ones. Some suppliers sell the unqualified raw materials to LED display manufacturer with very cheap price, and usually those unqualified raw materials are most likely to be LED lamps and IC. But the lamp factory and IC factory will tell their client, LED display factory, that these are cheap unqualified products without any guarantee and will be sold without the original brand. Some foreigner clients always offer a price which is lower than the marked price to supplier, which means supplier can only use unqualified raw materials. And even if factory offers the price without making any profit, still can't meet client's budget. In this situation, some factory will declare their client's offer, but some factory won't. Instead, these factories will use defective raw materials to meet their client's budget. The same is true for golden trading. For example, the international price of gold should be $45 per gram. If the client's customer pays $35 per gram, it will be impossible to purchase the pure gold, and the seller will add 20% copper or any other material to replace the gold. Or it's like selling milk and oil. If the price is 10% less, then the seller will mix 10% water with milk, and then 20% water will be mixed with the milk. So basically, factory will choose different type of defective raw materials to produce LED displays according to how much their client paid. Given that their client's buying price is much lower than the market price, in the end, clients who offer much lower buying price purchase LED display made of unqualified raw materials, and this kind of LED display may start to have problems later on. It's just a matter of time. Many clients think that LED display factory purchases raw material from the same supplier with much different prices, and the order quantity is huge. But it's actually not the case. Instead, 3% difference of the price can be really huge. If the LED display factory can get the price 10% lower than their competitor from their supplier, do you think it is necessary to offer this 10% to other clients? Of course, they don't need, right? They will surely just lower the price for extra 3% or maybe 5%, and then the client will choose them, right? So business has business rules. All the world is the same. The order quantity will affect the price and will end the payment term, the credit time, and the relationship between the factory and the supplier. So LED display factories often don't know the highest price from fellow companies, but they do know the lowest price offered. I would like to give some suggestions to foreigner clients on purchasing the LED display from China. When you're purchasing, please don't think of bargain hunting, and I will explain why. The reason why most of the LED display factories are in Shenzhen or even close to Shenzhen is that the supplier chain is in Shenzhen, which means all the relative raw materials are in Shenzhen. Every day, suppliers of raw materials will visit us. So we know our fairness price product positioning very easily. We just ask Dating Style and Kingnet whether the competitor purchased or never, or how often they purchased. Foreigner client will never have the chance to get some rare bargains. It's like you have a good second-hand car and the price is cheaper than the market price, so you definitely will sell to your wife's brother or sister and first, and then your brothers and friends. This is our culture. Maybe in your country you sell to your brother or sister and first, and then your wife. It is easy to understand that people would always think of the ones whom, and for our business, people who get the business information earlier than others get the chance to make a deal. Besides that, when LED display factory has some good product with very low price, they leave them to his VIP client in the first place, and then the trading companies which have acquired the information at a very First, the beginning. Under these circumstances, foreigners from afar who haven't even made a deal with the factory usually don't have any access to these goods. That's why some foreigner buyers end up with many second-hand LED displays. So if some sellers tell you that there are some high-quality products with a favorable price, please be really careful and check out if these goods are really super rare. However, China enjoys a huge market for LED displays. So I would like to suggest foreigner clients, please don't want to be bargain hunting in China, but some second-hand LED display which has been shipped out in China rental market, it is available to get a good price. Since the quality of LED display products can be flexible, you should be really meticulous when you're comparing the price from two different factories. You should make sure that all the raw materials from two factories should be the same. Otherwise, the comparison makes no sense. For example, the fake Lightning Star products surely are cheaper than the real Lightning Star product. And the wholesale copper Lightning Star surely is cheaper than the product copper Lightning Star. Thanks for your watching. That's all today. See you next time. Bye bye.